So, a lot of people are asking me, is it okay to take a flight right now because of what's happening with the coronavirus outbreak? They're asking if they should cancel their trips, whether they're business trips or vacations. People are really afraid right now because of the coronavirus. They're afraid of getting on airplanes. They're afraid of, going to different destinations, whether it's a hot spot like South Korea or China or Iran or Italy. Um, yeah, I think people are generally in panic mode, but you listen, I get it. It's like a psychological thing, and anyone can be afraid. Obviously, everyone has every right to because it is a virus on a global scale, and it is kind of scary. But here's the thing. Before I even answer the question, let me illustrate something for you real quick. I went out with two friends yesterday for lunch, just here in the East Village. It's a restaurant that's very popular, and we were literally the only people there. I'm not even joking. The only people there were no other diners. And our waitress, she works at another restaurant, and she was saying that it was the same thing at the other restaurant, that it was just completely dead. So obviously, coronavirus is having a huge impact on people. They don't want to go out, they don't want to leave their houses. My neighbor, literally across the hall, she has had, I'm whispering because she might hear me, but she's not home. She's had the flu all week, and it wasn't even, she never got, tested or anything for coronavirus because she doesn't have health insurance. She didn't want to go out of her way, but also she was just very sick. She couldn't get out of bed. So obviously that made me very stressed and anxious and, a little freaked out. She's literally across the hall. Luckily, she finally left her house today. She looked great. She was feeling a lot better. And so, but of course, like I panicked. Of course, I was on like pins and needles. I don't even know if that's the right whatever saying, but I was pretty anxious, every day this week because she had it and our dogs, get along or whatever and they play together. And so that's the extent of, the psychological impact this global coronavirus can have on you. Like people are very scared. People are freaking out. People are paranoid. So, okay, so now this brings me to back to my question on whether you should take your flight considering coronavirus is happening right now. And listen, there's no easy answer. The answer is basically you have to determine your comfort level. Okay, let me give you an example. I was supposed to go to Argentina and Uruguay at the end of the month. I canceled it though. The reason I canceled it is because I had just gotten back from the Dominican Republic last week, and I'm leaving for the Catskills tomorrow. And so I didn't, I'm going to be there for a week. I didn't want to get burnt out. So I canceled the trip. It had nothing to do with, what's going on with coronavirus and stuff like that. However, I did consider all of that. I went to the extent of looking to see if there have been any reports of coronavirus in Argentina and Uruguay. Luckily, there was only one in Argentina, zero in Uruguay. But even though I didn't cancel the trip because of like what's happening with coronavirus, it did. It was part of the equation. I did heavily consider it. I was like, shoot, like, what do I do? Like, this is kind of scary. In the end, listen, if I didn't go to the Dominican Republic last week for a week, if I wasn't going to get the Catskills tomorrow for a week, hell yeah, I would have gone. I totally would have gone. Coronavirus or not, because I felt comfortable with it. That's why I'm saying, like, if you're deciding whether you want to cancel a trip or continue going on a trip, listen, it's up to you, but it's up to your comfort level. Like, if you're a huge germaphobe and you know that you're going to freak out on the plane, do not do it. Don't go. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But if you're going to, like, I don't know, St. Bart's and you're like, I've had these tickets forever. I need to get out of here. I'm so stressed. This is my only, week for vacation. and you have no qualms about coronavirus, then do it. Go nuts. Go crazy. I do want to make clear, and you can look this up and you can look at all the data, you can look at all the studies and all the experts and all the doctors talking about this, but people are freaking out about flying because they think that you're more susceptible to coronavirus that way because of the circulated air. But um, the World Health Organization, I'm just going to read it out here, they say traveling by plane doesn't necessarily increase the risk of contracting a communicable disease more than another kind of mass transit, like the subway or the bus or, whatever, or a lift. Um, as ventilation systems on aircraft use filters to trap bacteria and viruses before air is circulated. So hopefully, maybe that'll give you peace of mind if you're, if you're on the fence on whether to travel right now. Um, you don't increase your chances by going on a plane, as opposed to any other public transport you take or even just walking on the street. You don't, that doesn't happen. Um, from what I've read and from what I know, you are more susceptible to getting coronavirus if you're sitting near someone who is infected, someone who is sick, and they happen to I don't sneeze on you, and then you touch your eyes and your mouth or whatever. That's a good way to increase your chances. All the fatal repercussions that have happened to people that have died. There's been more than 3,400 people that have died from coronavirus, been over 70 years old. Most of them have been majority over 70 years old and have had a history or currently have respiratory, problems or issues. So think about all the statistics, think about all the reports that are coming out, all the facts that are coming out. Nobody's telling you not to fly. If it was such a huge issue and your chances of getting coronavirus were really high for going on a plane, and all the scientists in the world knew this, they would say, don't fly. Do not fly. There's been not one person that says don't fly. It's a lot of it, like I said, is the whole fear of what's happening because it's on a global scale. And I even give you examples of me going out to lunch yesterday. Nobody was out. There's this fear of just getting it anywhere. All the the mask filters or whatever are sold out at all the CVS's and Walgreens. All the handy wipes. I mean, it's crazy. It's gone nuts right now. And so yeah, and then the whole thing with me and my flight, listen, I still would have gone. I would have gone because I knew the facts, I knew my risks, I knew that the two places I was going to were not hot spots, but also I knew that I would have been fine. Like I said, my chances of getting coronavirus is the same as getting a cold or the flu or whatever. And I've been flying for over 16 years, and every time I fly, I put myself at risk with every flight, So I've never gotten the flu from a flight. I don't know. I shouldn't say that now because now I don't want to jinx myself. But okay, so hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, that's just remember it's just based on your own comfort level. But definitely do the research, do your homework, and know that you're the same on ground as you are on a flight. It just depends on how close you are to someone, whether they're sick, if they sneeze on you. Obviously, wash your hands. Just read up on it and just fly based on how comfortable you are with flying right now. And most airlines are giving refunds or whatever if you don't feel comfortable, so you don't lose anything unless you get sick, but don't get sick. Okay, great. So yeah, so leave any comments or questions below, and have a great day.